So good afternoon. We are the second group. So what is file system? Next, a file system is a process that manage how and where data on storage disk, typically hard disk drives, is stored, accessed, and managed. Regardless of type and usage, a disk contains a file system and information about where this data is stored and how it may be accessed by a application and a file. So ayun po, a file system typically manage operations such as storage, management, file naming, directories, folders, metadata, access rules, and privileges. Next, properties of file system. Files are stored on disk or other storage and do not disappear when a user logs off. Files have names and associated with access permission that permits controlled sharing. Files could be arranged or more complex structures to reflect relationship between them. Next po. Next po. File attributes. A file has name and data. Moreover, it stores meta information like file creation date and time, current size, last modified date, etc. All this information is called the file attributes of file system. File attributes that's used in OS. Name, identifier, location, type, size, protection, time, and date and security. Name, it is the only information stored in human readable form. Identifier, every file is identified by a unique tag number within a file system known as an identifier. Location points to file location on device. Type. This attribute is required for systems that support various types of files. Size. Attribute used to display the current file size. Protection. This attribute assigns and controls the access rights of reading, writing, and executing the file. Time, data, and security. It is used for protection, security, and also used for monitoring. Next po. Next po. File type. It refers to the ability of the operating system to differentiate various types of files like text files, binary, and source files. However, operating system like MS underscore DOS and Unix has the following types of files. Next po. Ordinary files. This type of files stores users' information. It may be text, executable program, and databases. Directory file. Directory contain files and other related information about those files. It's basically a folder to hold and organize multiple files. Function of file. Create file, find space on disk, and make an entry in the directory. Write to file requires positioning within the file. Yun lang po. Yun lang po.
Okay. Next.
So good afternoon everyone. File system. File system can also restrict read and write access to a particular group of users. File system can also restrict read and write access to a particular group of users. Password are easiest way, along with controlling and modifying reading. While the data modification is controlled and limited. Next slide. Next slide. Sa number 2 slide. Metadata is a data that describes other data. Meta is a prefix that in most information technology usages means an underlying definition or description. Metadata summarizes basic information about data, which can make finding and working with particular instances of data easier. Metadata is also used as separate directory entries. There are three main types of ano, there are three main types of metadata. Structural metadata. It is used to describe the types, versions, relationships, and other characteristics of digital materials. It is also used for managing, administering collections, and information resources. Descriptive metadata. It is used to identify and describe collections and related information resources. It is used to identify and describe collections, prescribe for purpose of each together. Metadata used as in additional to document files, images, videos, spreadsheets, and web pages. Utilities. Miscellaneous types of utilities programs. File viewer. It is used for viewing and managing files in a computer system. Diagnostic utilities is used to detect problems of hardware and also of software. Disk defragmenter is used to recognize the files on the disk. Data recovery utility is used to restore the data that has been damaged or corrupted also. Yun lang, thank you. Okay na ba?
Okay, guys, next.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. My name is Arnie Chester Iremo.
Good
And my
afternoon.
good afternoon din Gian or kung sino man. My report is file system. Okay, next slide. Next po.
Wait po, naglalag.
Okay lang po, okay lang. Ayun. So as far I remember, file system is more likely to see in computer that files are purposely stored in different category files. For further explanation, file system is a method of organizing and retrieving files from storage medium. Example is yung sa hard drive. File system is usually consists of files separated into groups called directories. Directories can contain files or additional directories. Today, the most commonly used file system that is used file system with Windows is NFTS. So next slide po. Okay. So this is the example of file system. As you can see, there's different categories which is categorize siya through color. So this is the example of file system. Next slide po. Best practicing for organizing your business files and folders. Store document. So bullet number 1 is store documents in shared location, not on your personal computer. Bullet number 2, don't mix business and personal files. Bullet number 3 is group by category, group by date, use final, draft, and archives folder. And lastly is use shortcuts. Okay, next slide po. Ayun. So, ito rin yung isa sa example ng file system. As you consider a directories or what do you call that? Main folder, and after the main folder there's directories. So this is the example of file system. Next slide po. Oh, so what is this disadvantage and advantage of file system? The advantage is there's a backup, compactness, editing, and remote access and sharing. So this is the disadvantage is data redundancy, difficulty in accessing data, limited data sharing, integrity of problems, atomicity of problems, current access emulation, and security problems. So that's all. Thank you po. And
Okay, next.
Okay, my turn. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Russell Sironigo, and this is my report.
Good
File
afternoon.
system. Good afternoon. Subtopics. How does... Oops. Yan. Thank you. How does file system works? The second one is, what is file system structure? Third is, examples of shareable and unshareable files. Next slide, please. Thank you. How does file system works? When there are too many files and you need only to compile it properly to be well organized and be easy to find files, the way the files are organized on the disk. Second one is, and to avoid organized files that scatter everywhere. Next slide, please. Thank you. What is file system structure? The file system structure is the most basic level of organization in an operating system. Second one is, providing a common file system structure ensures users and programs are able to access and write files. Next slide, please. Thank you. What is shareable files? These files are available in public, like for example, PDFs, lesson from your teacher, instructional materials, etc. Next slide. Thank you. What is unshareable files? From the word itself, unshareable, it means it can't be shared publicly. Too confidential or personal files that cannot be shared without the owner's consent. For example, personal records, company's data, etc. That's all. Thank you for listening, and thank you for screen.
You're welcome.
Okay, next.
Ayan, so good afternoon everyone. So my report is file system and my name is Baroso Mark Kenneth D. So next page po.
Hello, Mark Kenneth.
Hi Joby. Next page po. Ayan, so where does the word file system originated? So the term file system was used to describe a method of sorting and retrieving paper documents. So even before the advent of computers, so by 1961, the term was being applied to computerized filing alongside the original meaning. And by 1964, it was in general use. So next page po. Ayan, so layers in a file system. So ano ba yung, what is the layer in the file system? So next page po. So the first layer, logical file system, is responsible for interaction with the user application. It provides the application program interface for file operation. So basically, this layer provide file access, directory, operations, and security and protection. Next page po. Ayan, so second layer, so virtual file system. This interface allows support for multiple concurrent instances of physical file systems, each of which is called a file system implementation. So in this layer, this is a second optional layer. The virtual file system serves as an abstraction layer that gives application access to different types of file systems and local and network storage devices. Next page po. And so third layer, so physical file system.
The physical file system interacts with the device drivers or with the channel to drive the storage devices. So this layer is concerned with the physical operation of the storage device. Example given is the disk. So it processes physical blocks being read or written. It handles buffering and memory management. Next page po. Next page po. Ayan. So benefits of using file systems. So benefits of using file system has six. So it is backup, compactness, data retrieval, editing, remote access, and sharing. So that's all. Thank you.
Hi po, good afternoon. My name is Pearl Canicas and my presentation is about aspects of data warehousing. First, let me say something about file system.
Good afternoon, Bird.
Wait lang. File system controls how data is stored and retrieved. And without a file system, data placed in storage medium will be one large body of data with no way to tell where one piece of data stops and the next begins. Next is aspects of file system. There are many aspects of file system, but my presentation is about file name and directories. Wait lang po. Naglalag. File name. File name is a name used to uniquely identify a computer file stored in file system. Different file system impose different restrictions on file name lengths and the allowed characters with file names. Discussion of file names are complicated by lack of standardization of the term. Sometimes file name is used to mean the entire name, such as Windows name, directory, /myfile.txt. Sometimes it will be used to refer to the component, so the file name in this case would be myfile.txt. Sometimes it is reference that excludes an extension, so the file name will be just myfile. File name may include one or more of these components: host or server, second is device or drive, directory and path, next is file, version and type. Next is directories. In computing a directory, a file system cataloging structure which contains reference to the other computer files and possibly other directories. On many computers, directories are known as folders or drawers. Files are organized by storing related files in the same directory. In hierarchical file system, that is one in which files and directories are organized in manner that resembles a tree. A directory contains inside another directory is called subdirectory. Yun lang po. Thank you. Questions po.
Wait lang. Doon sa report namin, may question ba? Baka meron kayong clarification or question pang isa.
Okay, wait lang.
What are the benefits of file management system?
Sorry.
What are the benefits of file management system?
Oh, okay. It's mine. So, hello. I'm so sorry. So, one of the benefits of file management system is a company security strengthened with a modern file management software. It offers encryption for logins and supports secure connection. Furthermore, it allows admins to receive the data reports which help them improve business decision. That's it po.
Magpipicture pa ba tayo lahat?
May tanong pala kami.
We have a question po,
Sorry.
including of all of your report.
May tanong ako. What is the importance of file name and directories?
Yan po yan. The importance of file name is a systematic method for naming files that will make them easier to retrieve. A consistent and descriptive convention will allow you to know the content of file without opening it. Find and identify files even if they are no longer in their original folder. The importance of directories is that they were the primary source of web users to find websites on various topics, and the data directory is to identify the master source of the specific data along with replicas of that data in the distributed database environment. Nasagot po ba, Kuya Jovic?
Oh, loud and clear. Thank you, Pearl.
Ako naman po, may questions, including of your reports. What is the importance of organized file system? Yun lang po.
Let me answer that. That's my okay. The
Okay.
importance of having an organized file system is you can easily look different files and you will easily recognize it very well because it is organized. Thank you. I hope
Okay,
you
loud
like
and
the
clear. And one more question. Okay, this is the last. What are the 3 layers of file system?
So file system consists of 3 layers. So the first layer is logical file system, the second layer is virtual file system, and the third layer is physical file system. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Okay, loud and clear. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Picture pa ba?
So, picture tayo guys para sure ball. Sino maganda screenshot?
Open
Para
mouth.
Sige, sa akin na lang. Send ko
Kahit
lang
end
sa
mo na
inyo.
yung record siguro, okay na siguro.
Sige.
Ano, Lawrence?
Open all